Hello students, a very important topic of statistics is measures of central tendency. So today our main topic is measures of central tendency. One of the most important objectives of statistical analysis is to get one single value that represents the characteristics of the entire mass. Such a value is known as the central value or average. And average is sometimes called as measures of central tendency. Because why it is called such a name, measures of central tendency? Because it lies near the central part of a frequency distribution and the other values are found to cluster around it. So the main thing is it lies near the central part of a frequency distribution. So measures of central tendency can be classified into mathematical averages and positional averages, two categories. Again, mathematical averages is known as mean, and mean is of three types: arithmetic mean, geometric mean, and harmonic mean. Also, positional averages can be classified into two types. One is the median, another is the mode. So mainly we are talking about mean, median, mode, but mean is the mathematical average and median and mode are the positional average, and mean can be classified into arithmetic mean, geometric mean, and harmonic mean. So let us elaborate. In this video only we will talking about mean. Mean is for simple arithmetic mean. If x1, x2, xn be n observations of a sample, if these are the n observations, then their sample simple arithmetic mean denoted by x bar. The notation is x bar. Look at that. It can be the sum of the numbers divided by the n number of total number. How many numbers are the observations are there? So this is your simple arithmetic mean, and the notation is summation xi by n. Summation runs from 1 to n. So this is your simple series or simple arithmetic mean. Now if this is a weighted arithmetic mean, that is, if there is x1, x2, xn be n observations of a sample with corresponding frequencies f1, f2, fn, these are the frequencies corresponding, then their arithmetic mean is given by x1, f1 plus x2, f2, etc. by sum of the frequencies. That is, sum of the frequencies is known as n, and this is your summation xi fi by n. So this is your arithmetic mean for weighted or weighted arithmetic mean in case of frequencies are involved. So let us have examples of that. Arithmetic mean of set of numbers. So you don't have to arrange these numbers, just simply add the numbers and divide it by the total number, how many samples are there. So you will get the simple arithmetic mean in usual, very easy case. But you have some frequencies. Suppose the wages are given to you and number of workers, this is your frequency and this is your x values. So in this case the x and f, you have to find out the x and f because you have this formula. So x and f, the total of x and the number of workers, that is capital N, you sum of the frequencies, and you, if you apply the formula for weighted arithmetic mean, you will get the result. So this is how you will apply weighted arithmetic mean. Now for a group frequency distribution, suppose there is a class interval. How will you calculate the arithmetic mean? And the frequencies are given. So for class intervals, find out the mid value, that is 0 plus 9 divided by 2, 10 plus 19 divided by 2. So this will give you the mid values. This is the mid value, x, mid values. And look at that. This is the frequencies, and we have introduced a new variable y. Y is the x minus 24 minus 5 by 10. This is called step deviation method. This is the method, this is called step deviation method. Why? Because this will reduce the calculation actually. How? This 24.5 is the suppose you have 1 2 3 4 5 6 even number of data, so in the middle there are two values, so you select any one of them, either 24.5 or 34.5, and this called the change of origin. And look at that, your values are separated, difference of the values are 10, so this is called change of scale. So your change of origin is 24.5 and change of scale is 10, so this reduce your calculation, because you 4.5 minus 24.5 divided by 10, it will give you -2. So look at that, no calculator is required for this calculation, so this will reduce your calculation. This method is called step deviation. The value of this origin is generally chosen at the middle of the observed distribution, and value of this 10 or the scale is chosen is the class width for class intervals of equal width, or if the class intervals are not unequal width, then in this case you have to choose HCF of the class intervals, so this will reduce. So you have introduced a new variable y. Next we calculate fy, sum of the fy. Now what is your required mean? That is required is x bar. Suppose this is the formula you have applied, so if you cross multiply this, it will give you 10y equal to x minus 24.5. so what is your x? X is nothing but 24.5 plus 10 into y. So if you take bar, this is x bar plus 10 into y, 24.5. so this is the formula. How you are applying the formula? This is the formula of conversion, because your original variable was x and you want x bar, so x bar is given by 24.5 and y bar is 100 by 130, look at that, into 10. So this is how you are calculating with the some transformation. That transformation method is called step deviation method, that is change of scale and change of origin. Your origin is 24.5 and scale is 10. 24.5 is the middle value, try to get the middle value. If it is a even, any two you can take. If it is a odd, you will get the middle point. And the scale is the difference of the values. If the differences are unequal, in that case you can take the HCF of the differences of the class widths. So look at that, it is written here. Note, in the note, A is generally chosen as the observation which is situated at the middle of the distribution, and value is I generally chosen as the class width or the class intervals of equal width, or the HCF of the class intervals of equal width. Clear? Width is this one, 14.5 minus 4.5, 10. 24.5 minus 14.5, 10. In this case you have equal width. In this case you have equal width. That is why you have chosen 10. So I hope the step deviation method is clear to you. This is very helpful. So now go to the geometric mean for unweighted data, that is for simple series. Geometric mean is given by nth root of x1, x2, xn. This is given by geometric mean. For weighted data, there are some frequencies, so it will be given by x1 to the power f1, x2 to the power f2, xn to the power fn whole to the power 1 by n, where capital N is the summation of the frequencies, that is sum of the frequencies, fi, summation fi. This is gives you the idea of the geometric mean for weighted values. Find the geometric mean of 3, 6, 24, 48. Suppose for example, so this is the fourth root. You have 4 numbers, so you have the fourth root of this product. So easily you can calculate this product. And for weighted measure, that is 4, 6, 9 with weights 1 to 1 respectively. In that case 4 to the power 1, 6 to the power 2, 9 to the power 1 whole to the power 1 by the sum of the frequencies, that will give you 6. So this is how you will calculate the geometric mean. And in case of harmonic mean, for simple values, the harmonic mean is given by n by reciprocal of the values. Okay, this is how you will calculate the reciprocal of the values, that is harmonic mean. Weighted data, if there are frequencies are involved, then in that case f1 plus f2 plus fn, and by f1 by x1, f2 by x2, etc., fn by xn. So this is how you will calculate the harmonic mean for weighted measure. So in this way we can calculate the arithmetic mean, geometric mean and harmonic mean we have discussed. So there is a important relations between AM, GM, HM. This is one of the important relation. First one, AM is always greater or equal to GM, greater or equal to HM, and also AM into HM is equal to GM square. These two are very important properties. So I will show you how to prove this. Suppose AM of two positive numbers. Obviously we are taking two positive numbers. AM is given by x1 plus x2 by 2, and GM is greater. GM is, this is your AM, and GM is given by root over x1 x2, and HM is given by, for two positive numbers x1 x2, 2 by 1 by x1 plus 1 by x2. So our first target is to prove AM greater or equal to GM. So similarly you will prove that. Now we have this relation. Suppose we can write this root over x1, because x1 x2 are positive, and minus x2, root over x1 minus root over x2 greater or equal to 0. Clear? Whole square is greater or equal to 0. We can write that greater than or equal to 0, because square of any quantity is always non-negative. So if you expand this, it will give you x1 plus x2, transposing that negative term to that side, 2 into root over of x1 x2. Okay, so that gives you x1 plus x2 by 2, transposing to this side, that is changing the side by cross multiplication, x1 x2. So this relation gives you that AM greater or equal to GM, because this left hand side is your AM and right hand side is your GM. Similarly, if you take the this product, this square, 1 by root over x1 square minus 1 by root over x2 whole square greater or equal to 0, taking this term, we can say, we can prove that GM is greater or equal to HM. So this is how you will prove AM greater or equal to GM greater or equal to HM. And also there are important relation. This is also with the help of this idea you can find the proof of that, AM into HM equal to GM square. So this video tells you about specially on measures of central tendency, concept of their classification, and mainly discuss about arithmetic mean, geometric mean and harmonic mean. So look at the next video on median and mode. Thank you.